Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with the miserable liberal and Ron Placone.
I'm miserable.
Hello.
So, big story today. Everybody's talking about this. Is our good friend Bobby Deniro says F Trump twice at the Tony Awards. Came out and said F twice. It's a big deal. Here, he comes out. So I'm just going to show you what he says. Then I'll show you because CBS bleeped it. So I don't have a copy of him saying it. I have a video of him being bleeped. They didn't actually bleep it. They don't bleep anymore. They just drop it. Did you notice that?
Oh, really? They don't?
Yeah, they just kind of put a blank. They don't. So he came out and said, I just want to say one thing. F Trump. It's no longer down with Trump. It's F Trump. And so you want to hear him say that? So here, this is at the Tony Awards. Here it is. So see, they dropped it all out. And then he does this. People are going crazy. Standing ovation. So welcoming Springsteen to the stage, Deniro added, in these perilous times, you rock the vote, always fighting for truth, transparency, and integrity in government. Boy, do we need that now. When have we ever had that? When have we ever had that? Whenever we ever had transparency, integrity in government? When have we ever had transparent? Barack Obama, everybody was crazy at George Bush because he did an illegal war called Iraq. Barack Obama did Libya. No one gave a shit. And it's all about oil, and it's all about the petrodollar. Again. And it has to do with Israel. God damn it.
You know, I'm still stuck on the fighting for truth part.
Yeah.
What is that about? What truth have we ever fought for? Vietnam? What was the truth there in Vietnam?
No, I think when he's talking to Bruce Springsteen, that Bruce Springsteen is always fighting for truth.
Gotcha.
I would agree with that. Transparency and integrity in government. Boy, do we need that now. Again, Trump hasn't started a war yet that I know of. Has he? Hasn't started one.
Hasn't started one, no.
He's continued a couple.
Yes, he has.
He's trying to start one with Canada. I've always been suspicious of the Canadians with their politeness.
They're cheaper drugs.
And
what are they hiding?
Yeah.
Some of them speak French.
Oh, there you go. So he said that, and then in the article, in the HuffPo article, it also mentions that he said this: our country is led by a president who believes he can make up his own truth, and we have a word for that. Bull, shit. He said last week. This is what he said last week while praising the winners of the first Jimmy and Rosemary Breslin Award, American Writer Award in New York. Our country is led by a president who believes he can make up his own truth. I would agree with his statement. I would just alter it just a little bit. Our country is led by presidents who believe they can make up their own truth. Because that's what they did. Barack Obama said he wasn't going to sign a health care bill unless it had a public option. He signed a health care bill without a public option for no reason. They passed that with 50 votes.
We bombed some folks.
But they passed that barely. They passed that not with the supermajority. They passed that with 51 votes, so they could have did that. And that was Barack Obama's call to not do that. Do you think if everyone had the health care we were supposed to, if the Democrats would have passed Medicare for all when they had complete control of government, including a filibuster-proof Senate, do you think that if everybody had single payer right now, if the Democrats did what they were supposed to, don't you think it would be a drastically different country? All the bankruptcies that would be, what would GoFundMe be doing? What would GoFundMe? They'd have to actually be raising money for actual projects instead of knee operations. So, of course, you see where I'm going with this. This drives me nuts. Guys like Robert Deniro, who his heart is in the right place. He wants to stand up for truth and justice and transparency, except he's only doing it now. What happened when Barack Obama opened the Arctic to drilling twice, when he made the banks bigger, when he jailed whistleblowers, when they tortured Chelsea Manning? Why not F him then? How about when he when he let peaceful protesters get their heads cracked in from coast to coast. What about then? What about So that, this is my problem, right? This is everyone's obsessed with the symptom, which is Trump. And yes, now people's rage, but instead of being rageful at the system that Trump is the head of, they're just angry at Trump. Again, that's the big missed opportunity here, is that people are still How about when they were tweeting out those photos of kids in cages from immigration? And it was like, oh my God, Trump. And then they realized, oh, this happened in 2014. This was always happening. So again, my theory of Trump putting the ugly face on the stuff that our country's been doing all along is real, and it's happening. Except the problem is people think it's just Trump. It doesn't make them go, oh, we have to get rid of ICE. Yes, because we just invented it for no reason. Yes. So I was hoping it would make people do more of that. And what it seems like it seems like it's just more anger at Trump, and that's easy. One more quote from Huffington Post. So what about truth? What does the truth even mean today? I mean, if you're Donald Trump, it doesn't mean anything. Only Donald Trump is the only guy. I mean, again, that pretends that corruption in Hollywood, corruption in D.C. started on January 2017, and it didn't. The reason we got Trump is because we have a completely corrupted government that doesn't represent its own people, and people got so desperate they were willing to vote for a guy who they knew was a con man. We had Nick Smith on our show, a Waffle House cook, and he said people in Virginia knew that Donald Trump was a loudmouth Yankee who should have had his ass kicked a long time ago. But at least he offered them something. They had no other choice. Nobody was offering anything. So here we go again with that same thing, pretending Donald Trump is the problem, and corruption started in January 2017. So, and if we could just get rid of Trump, everything will be okay. And the establishment wants to get rid of Trump because Trump makes it harder for them to pull off all their nefarious bullshit. When you got Barack Obama doing a nice, handsome job of smiling and charming everyone while he opens the Arctic to drilling, right? While he does absolutely nothing. Anyway, so this is, again, same old stuff we talk about all the time. You're angry at a symptom. You're not angry at the problem. You're angry at the liver spot, not the diseased liver. I like that one. That's my favorite.
Well, can you imagine? Yeah, that is my favorite one, Jimmy. Can you imagine if Robert De Niro came out and actually said, fuck Pelosi, fuck Schumer?
Right? Hey,
fuck Tom Perez.
Right? How about that? How about fuck Tom Perez and the DNC? They're getting ready. They're already cheating progressives again. No, just Trump.
Yeah, because they're the reason we got Trump.
Yes.
They lost to Trump.
Yes.
So I say, fuck them.
How can you consider yourself the most qualified person to be president if you can't beat a game show host who's a political novice? You obviously aren't the most qualified. You're obviously the least qualified because anybody else would have beat him. Anyway, so that's how I feel about this. I'll show it to you one more time. Just for here he comes out. F Trump, no more Donald Trump, and then he does this. Barack Obama dropped more bombs than George Bush. Just so you know, Barack Obama dropped more bombs than George Bush. We're now spending $700 billion a year on our military, and 30 million people still don't have health coverage, and they're angry at Trump. The Democrats just voted to deregulate Wall Street again. And it's just problem with Trump, Ron.
Well, has Robert De Niro ever really been politically outspoken before? I mean, I can't think of any. But...
Trump is exactly what Norm Macdonald said. He's low-hanging fruit. Being against Trump is not a worldview.
Oh, absolutely. And I agree with that 100%. I'm just wondering, hey, maybe Robert De Niro never paid attention before and Trump woke him up.
How
Which
could
is
not,
one of the good things.
That's
more
what
people waking up.
Yeah, but the problem is he's waking up and thinking it's just Trump.
Sure.
No, the problem is just Trump. instead of what the problem really is. The problem is a neoliberal system that threw working class people overboard about 40 years ago. That's what the problem is.
Well, maybe he'll get there in time. Like maybe Bruce Springsteen took him aside and he said, look, a while ago, Ronald Reagan wanted to use the song Born in the USA.
Right.
And I didn't say, of course you can, kind sir, because everything's great and we have truth and transparency. I told him no, and here's why. There's some messed up things about our system.
Rod makes a great point. Should have ended the video right there. That's exactly right. Bruce, how about when Bruce Springsteen also didn't let a president use his song because he was so disgusted by that president who is now enshrined in American history as being a great president. People love him, even though he was horrible. I mean, Reagan. So I say the beginning of the end for the country was when Bill Clinton became president, but I could have said it started under Reagan, but Reagan was no different than the rest of the Republicans, except that, because Bill Clinton actually was different than the rest of the Democrats. He was like, fuck it, I'll just be a Republican. Whereas Reagan was just, I'm just being a Republican.
Well, yeah, I mean, the country took a really ugly turn with Reagan, but then when Clinton came along, it was like, well, we don't want to beat him, so let's join him.
Let's join him. We're going to keep this turn going. Keep this ugly turn. We're never turning back around. Super predators, explode the prison population, gut welfare, deregulate Wall Street, crash our economy in 10 years, all that.
New business-friendly Democrats.
The business-friendly Democrats. Get in bed with the Koch brothers, which they did. So that's the big takeaway from the Tonys, and of course, it breaks my heart. And I'm not saying anything negative against Bobby Deniro. I like to call him Bobby because we worked on a movie set together. So Bobby, but again, this is the wrong takeaway from what's happening right now. Trump is a symptom of a greater problem. Trump is the result of the problem. And you guys are just angry at the symptom. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is July 1st in Portland, Oregon, and July 15th in Chicago, Illinois. We're doing a live show July 15th in Chicago, Illinois. Go to a link right there for all the tickets to all the live Jimmy Dore shows. Plus, if you can help become a premium member, we give you hours of bonus material every week. Become a patron or a premium member. And if you're on Steam It, we're steaming it right now. Plus, every Saturday, we do a live Super Solid Chat Saturday where it's a live stream and you can ask us questions and we'll answer them back. Every Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks for your support.